Hey, I'm Auntie Jessie. I'm back. Let's fucking look at this shit, okay? We've got from theguardian.com. Dropped cases against LA protesters reveal false claims from federal agents. Gee, fucking, did we not expect that? Or, revealed. Records show that Border Patrol gave inaccurate testimony about people it jailed. Prosecutors now face embarrassing dismissals. Yeah. All right. So remember what happened in Los Angeles last month? They fucking put a bunch of fucking National Guard, and then they put a bunch of fucking Marines, and they were like, it's crazy out here in Los Angeles, but the guys were just like playing tic-tac-toe the whole time because they have nothing better to do. Tic-tac-toe. Like they don't have fucking smartphones. Well, I don't know if they were allowed to use their phones or not. There's like rules and shit for being in the military. I don't fucking know. Point is, like, we did see them though. We did see civilians playing rock, paper, scissors with the soldiers, which was really adorable. But this is not so adorable. Thankfully, it turned out to be very funny. U.S. immigration officers made false and misleading statements in their reports about several Los Angeles protesters that they arrested during the massive demonstrations that rocked the city in June, according to federal law enforcement files obtained by The Guardian. The officer's testimony was cited in at least 5 cases filed by the U.S. Department of Justice amid the unrest. The Justice Department has charged at least 26 people with assaulting and impeding officers, federal officers, and other crimes during the protests over immigration raids. Prosecutors, however, have since been forced to dismiss at least 8 of those felonies, many of them which relied on officers' inaccurate reports, court records show. Ha! The Justice Department has also dismissed at least 3 felony assault cases it brought against Angelenos, accused of interfering with arrests during the recent immigration raids, the documents show. The rapid felony dismissals are a major embarrassment for the Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney for Southern California, Bill Isalayayayay, and appeared to be the result of an unusual series of missteps by the Justice Department, former federal prosecutors said. The Guardian's review of records found, out of 9 assault and impeding felony cases, the Justice Department filed immediately after the start of the protests and promoted by the Attorney General Pam Bondi, that bitch. Prosecutors dismissed 7 of them soon after filing the charges. In reports that led to the detention and prosecution of at least 5 demonstrators, Department of Homeland Security DHS agents made false statements about the sequence of events and misrepresented incidents captured on video. You can't do shit now. We got cameras everywhere. On DHS agent accused a protester of shoving an officer when footage appeared to show the opposite. The officer forcefully pushed the protester. One indictment named the wrong defendant, a stunning error that has jeopardized one of the government's most high-profile cases. Oh, I don't know what that's about. That's interesting. When I see felonies dismissed, this tells me that either the federal officers have filed affidavits that are not truthful, and that has been uncovered, or U.S. attorneys reviewing the cases realize that evidence does not support the charges. Christy Soto DeBerry, a former California state prosecutor who is now director of Prosecutors Alliance Action, a criminal justice reform group. She said officers often call for charges that prosecutors don't end up filing, but it was uncommon for the Justice Department to file and then dismiss cases, especially numerous felonies, in such rapid succession. It seems this is a way to detain people, hold them in custody, and still fear and discourage people from exercising their First Amendment rights, DeBerry said. Ha ha! Yeah, that's probably exactly what the fuck it is. There are at least 18 cases brought by the Justice Department against LA protesters that prosecutors have not dismissed, covering a wide array of alleged criminal conduct, according to case records the U.S. Attorney's Office shared with The Guardian. In 3 of those cases, protesters have agreed to plea deals, including one defendant accused of spitting at an officer and another who allegedly threw rocks. Some, still facing charges, are accused of throwing bottles and Molotov cocktails, pointing a laser at a helicopter, and aiding in civil disorder by distributing gas masks. Okay, hold up. If we have to have gas masks in order to deal with your ass, who's the actual fucking criminal here, right? Okay, giving gas masks to people because the government is trying to silence your fucking First Amendment rights by throwing gas at you? Like, I'm sorry, that's not fucking aiding civil disorder unless it's like there's no fucking way you could call it that. That's bullshit right there. But also, I want to say, too, that, when it comes to this shit, they're always going to come up with some sort of, well, you were prepared, you had these tools on you, so therefore, yeah, well, fuck that shit. In 6 of the felony dismissals reviewed by The Guardian, the Justice Department has refiled lower-level misdemeanors against the defendants. Well, that didn't stick. For the many protesters whose charges were withdrawn or scaled back, the officers' initial allegations as well as the department's filings have deeply affected their lives. All the demonstrators who won dismissal spent time in jail before the government's cases against them fell apart. "We are not the violent ones," said Jose Mojica, one of the protesters whose assault case was dismissed. An earlier Guardian interview. "They are chasing down innocent people." Okay, so dismissed in the interest of justice, of course. Right. So we need to see the truth here now. The Justice Department's initial wave of cases stemmed from one of the first major protests in the LA region. A demonstration on 7 June in the South Los Angeles city of Paramount. Border Patrol sightings had sparked fears that agents were targeting laborers at a Home Depot, which they are. And as dozens of locals and demonstrators gathered outside of an office complex that houses DHS, officers fired tear gas and flashbang grenades while some protesters threw objects. Gee! Okay, you have gas cans, we have gas masks. You have stupid, fucked up, ugly ass cars, we have rocks. Alright? I'm just saying. Grab a rock, bruh. U.S. Attorney's Office filed a joint case against 5 demonstrators, charging each with assaulting officers. A felony, the Justice Department warned, could carry 20-year sentences. A criminal complaint written by DHS, filed in the court by the Justice Department on 8 June, said that as the crowd grew, some protesters turned violent. 2 sisters, Ashley and Jocelyn Rodriguez. Yeah, I'm always getting my ass kicked by a bitch named Ashley. Fucking Ashleys that come out of nowhere. Jocelyn's, fucking the problem was Rodriguez. Right, okay. So they're brownish or something because they're Rodriguez's. Okay, yeah, that definitely. Anyways, they began blocking officers' vehicles. Holy shit, oh my god, these Rodriguez's. The complaint alleged. When a Border Patrol agent attempted to move Ashley, she resisted and shoved the agent with both of her hands. And then Jocelyn, oh my god, she grabbed the arm of one of the agents to prevent her sister's arrest. The charges said both were arrested. In an investigative file, the DHS suggested that in response to the sister's arrest, Christian Serna Camacho, another protester, began to verbally harass agents, making threatening remarks. Verbally harass. What are they doing? Calling them fucking pigs? Calling them fucking fascists? You're harassing me! Stop calling me fascist! Stop calling me fascist! Just call me a Nazi! Just call me a Nazi or nothing! Demonstrator Brian Ramos Brito then pushed an agent in the chest, DHS claimed, at which point a fifth protester, Jose Mojica, used his body to physically shield Ramos Brito and then elbowed and pushed agents. Agents then subdued and arrested Mojica and Ramos Brito, the complaint said. Look at this. He's got a fucking Home Depot box. He's like, hey. All 5 of the defendants are Latino U.S. citizens. The DHS's own subsequent reports, however, reveal multiple factual discrepancies in the narrative. What? Initially presented by officers and prosecutors. While the complaint suggested Serna Camacho, Ramos Brito, and Mojica attacked agents in protest of the sisters' arrest. Records show that the women were arrested in a separate incident, which occurred after the men were detained. Border Patrol agent Eduardo Mejorado, right? A key witness, considered a victim of the assaults, appeared to initially give inaccurate testimony about the order of events. He clarified the timeline when questioned. A DHS special agent wrote in a report 3 days after charges were filed. Fantastic. A supervisor on the scene also documented the correct chronology in a later report and apologized for errors, saying, due to the chaos of the events that day, some events may have been miscommunicated. Mojica had outlined the discrepancies in an interview with The Guardian days after his arrest. The DHS special agent also noted that defense lawyers had presented video that they said was in direct contrast to the facts laid out in the initial complaint. The footage seen by The Guardian appeared to show an agent pushing Ramos Brito, not the other way around, before he was taken to the ground along with Mojica, who was also not seen in the footage shoving or assaulting agents. Now hang on a second, because I gotta fucking let the dog in, because she's scratching at the door, and I know I'm recording this and it's not live, but I'm not gonna edit this shit, so you're just gonna have to look at the fucking article on a blank screen for a second here. Or how about this? You look at this for a sec. Yeah. Come on in. Alright, check me out though. I'm out here being like fucking professional and stuff. Alright, but I'm not gonna edit this because there's no reason to do all that. You guys know who the fuck I am. You know what the fuck I'm about. You all know that it's not a real Auntie Jessie show if Zelda isn't interrupting me every 5 minutes. So anyways, the agent acknowledged the officer's shoving and said that the subsequent fight was hard to decipher. The agent also claimed Ramos Brito's behavior before he was pushed included pre-assault indicators such as clenching fists and getting in the agent's face. Clenching fists. Just, if you start clenching a fist, that means you're about to fuck someone up, I guess. Meanwhile, chaotic social media footage of the arrest of the sisters appeared to show an officer pushing Ashley, prompting her to briefly raise her hand, at which point the 2 agents grabbed her and took her to the ground. Her older sister was then seen briefly touching the arm of one of the agents on top of her sister. Both appeared to be filming with their phones before the arrest, and it's unclear who the DHS and the Justice Department were alleging were the victims in this purported assault. DHS records also show that one supervisor emailed a female Border Patrol agent seen in the video standing near the sisters, saying he was trying to tie that whole event together for prosecution and looking into a rumor that Ashley may have shoved the agent. The agent responded that she had told Ashley to move, but did not say that she was shoved, of course. Within 2 weeks of the initial charges, the U.S. Attorney's Office filed motions to dismiss the cases against the sisters Ramos Brito and Mojica in the interest of justice, without providing further explanation. In the interest of justice, yeah? Justice, they say. The Justice Department then filed a new case against the sisters, this time accusing them each of a single misdemeanor, saying they assaulted, resisted, opposed, impeded, intimidated, and interfered, with the Border Patrol, but offering no detail, of course. The sisters pleaded not guilty to the misdemeanors. Ashley's lawyer declined to comment, and Jocelyn's attorney did not respond to inquiries because, yeah, fuck you. Also, they're probably like, The Guardian. I don't know. I don't know really much about The Guardian. I just know that they're like one of the independent-ish things, and I am trying to lift up more independent voices when I can because, look at me. I'm also one of them, sort of. Although, I'm anti-Jesse. I ain't fucking nobody. I ain't a journalist. I ain't nothing. I'm just a guy, all right? And here I am, bringing you the news and shit. Like the video. The Justice Department also filed a misdemeanor indictment against Ramos Brito, but then it said it was erroneous and rescinded it, only to refile a misdemeanor in a different format. Ramos Brito pleaded not guilty, and his lawyer didn't respond to emails. Mojica, who spoke out about how he was injured during the arrest, has not been charged again. Yeah, you get fucking injured during arrest. Now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we never touched him. We definitely never touched him. Mojica, who spoke out, we did that already. Iseli, the U.S. Attorney for L.A., who is an ardent Trump supporter, appointed this year, initially published mugshots of the defendants, but has not publicly acknowledged that he has since dismissed their felonies. Of course. Thanks for putting my mugshot on the internet, you fucking asshole. Siren McAvoy, a spokesman for Iseli, declined to comment on a detailed list of questions about specific cases. The LA Times reported last week that Iseli was heard screaming at a prosecutor over a grand jury's refusal to indict one of the protesters. Little bitches. Bunch of little bitches, Oh no, nobody get gas masks. Mysterious fog, anyone? McAvoy said that the LA Times story relied on factual inaccuracies and anonymous gossip without offering specifics, adding in an email, "Our office will continue to working with unapologetically to tell that it was started red or the Peter Jenner federal." Bondi defended Iseli in a statement, calling him a champion and law and order who has done superlative work to prosecute rivals for attacking and obstructing law enforcement in Los Angeles. She added, "This Department of Justice is proud of me. And he didn't treat the dirt and the computer to work in the room and the work at particularly make America needed me." Jamie Ruiz, a spokesperson for Customs and Border Protection, which oversees Border Patrol, did not respond to detailed questions about cases and officers' inaccurate testimony, saying that the department is unable to comment on cases under active litigation. DHS and its components to continue to enforce the law every day in a greater Los Angeles is even in the face of danger, he added. Oh shit, we gotta read that in that stupid voice. DHS and its components continue to enforce the law every day in greater Los Angeles, even in the face of danger, he added. Our officers are facing assaults and assaults and attacks against them as they were put on their lives on the line to enforce the nation's laws. Secretary Kristi Noem has been clear. we'll shoot your puppy in the face. Tricia McLaughlin, DHS Assistant Secretary, added in a statement, our agents, officers, and prosecutors will continue to work together to keep Americans safe. And we will follow the facts, evidence, and law. Mejorado, the Border Patrol agent, could not be reached. Of course not. Serna Camacho is the only defendant of the 5 whose original charges are still pending, but when he showed up to court for his recent arraignment, the Justice Department attorney was forced to admit his office had made an error. The 1-paragraph indictment filed against Serna Camacho erroneously named Ramos Brito. Serna Camacho's lawyers have argued that the government's 30-day window to indict his client has passed, and the case must be dismissed. Serna Camacho pleaded not guilty, and his lawyer declined to comment. This is an extraordinary mistake and a dangerous embarrassment, said Sergio Perez, a former Justice Department lawyer, who is now executive director of the Center of Human Rights and Constitutional Law, a California-based legal advocacy group, about Serna Camacho's case. The U.S. Department of Justice is supposed to be the pinnacle of professional and responsible criminal prosecutions. When you can't get the fucking name right, it calls into question all other factual assertions in those documents. It's way beyond a clerical error. It's smoke where there is likely fire. But don't put on a gas mask. We'll get in trouble. The case is significant for one of the Trump this case is significant one for the Trump administration. Serna Camacho was arrested 4 days after the protest when 2 unmarked vehicles rammed his car. Oh yeah, this guy. While his toddler and infant were inside, with officers deploying tear gas. Yeah, this was fucked. But DHS aggressively defended the arrest, publishing a photo of Serna Camacho being detained, saying he had punched a Border Patrol officer at the Paramount protests. Video from the protests showed Serna Camacho and an officer scuffling in a chaotic crowd, with Serna Camacho at one point raising his hand, but it is unclear if he made contact with the officer. More cases crumble. In an initial complaint against Jacob Terrazas, DHS accused the man of felony assault, saying he was one of several individuals actively throwing hard objects at officers during the Paramount protests without referencing specific evidence or details. Video of his arrest showed an officer slamming him to the ground, and his arraignment, Terrazas appeared badly concussed, and a judge ordered he immediately get medical attention. Terrazas was released after 9 days in jail. Then 2 days later, the Justice Department moved to dismiss the case. However, prosecutors filed a new misdemeanor charge accusing him of simple assault, misdemeanor saying he aided and abetted others, and forcibly assaulted, resisted, opposed, impeded, intimidated, and interfered with a Border Patrol employee without providing details. Of course not. Terrazas has pleaded not guilty, and his lawyer did not respond to inquiries. The government has also dismissed its conspiracy to impede an officer felony charges against Giselle Medina, but then filed an accessory to assault misdemeanor, claiming in a brief charging document that she had assisted the offenders. The charges did not offer any details on how she allegedly assisted others. Medina has not been arraigned, and her lawyer did not respond to inquiries. The Justice Department also recently dismissed felony assault charges against Russell Gomez Drizul, who had been stopped on 7 June by Border Patrol when officers deemed him suspicious for appearing nervous near them and biking away, but then filed a simple assault misdemeanor without offering details. He has pleaded not guilty, and his lawyer did not respond to requests for comment. Andrea Velez, a U.S. citizen arrested during a 24 June raid in downtown L.A. on her way to work, also had a felony assault charge dismissed this month and has not faced further prosecution. Ah, interesting. Damn, this article goes on for fucking ever. Jesus. We're at the end, though, I think, fellas. One of the only cases from the first round of prosecutions that the government has not dropped is the one that made international headlines, the arrest of David Huerta, a prominent California union leader jailed while observing an immigration raid. Oh, yeah, this was a big deal. Carly Palmer, a lawyer who served as a supervisor in U.S. Attorney Office in L.A. until she left last year, said that the dismissals and downgrading of charges probably occurred after more in-depth evaluation by line prosecutors and supervisors, and in some ways reflected the process working. We want prosecutors to feel they can reevaluate evidence and change their mind when new information comes to light. Yeah, that's how we should all fucking be. Prosecutors might dismiss cases if a grand jury declines to indict, if they believe they can't persuade jurors at a trial, or if they learn officers violated the defendant's rights, she added. The LA Times reported that Iseli has struggled to secure indictments at grand juries. Wonder why. Palmer, now an attorney at the Halpern May Ibarra Gelberg firm, said it was unusual, however, for the office to prosecute these kinds of he said, she said bullshit protest scuffles in the first place, taking away resources from traditional priorities, including fraud, economic crimes, public corruption, and civil rights abuses. Federal charges are very serious and have real implications for people's lives, Palmer added. Even if it gets dismissed, it will be on someone's record for the rest of their lives. It carries a lot of consequences, so you want prosecutors to understand and appreciate the power they have. Beautiful. I'll catch you cool cobras later. Let me know what you think.